Married people of Reddit. What was your first impression of your spouse? Wondering how she could drink beer that early in the day. I don't remember. I was wasted and have absolutely no recollection of meeting her at all. Her first impression of me, however, was that I was obnoxious and probably gay. I guess first impressions aren't always the most important. She has beautiful eyes and she was so pretty. Still very much so. I was so nervous. I went to bathroom and gave myself double finger guns and said, "Don't screw this up." Still married 5 years. Edit. Thank you for the award. Also, we met on Tinder and yes, she looked like her picture. Oh shit, she can barely speak English. None of my jokes are going to land. Nice ass, is that shallow? I was checking her out. She turned out to be really cool too. I thought he was so cool. We had talked online for a few days, but it wasn't until I saw him walking towards me when we met for our first date that I realized he was way out of my league. Luckily, he thought the same thing about me. Same as today, 29 years later. Still makes me stop and admire. Haha. I completely ignored him. We both played an online game and he was in the same guild I was in. He entered my ventrilo room and was trying to ask me a question regarding a character build. I completely shut him down and told him to go ask my boyfriend. I didn't know he was the one I did that to until we decided to be a couple after my breakup with the ex. Met my wife on a blind date. First impression was that the guy who set us up did me a total solid. That was about 14 years ago now. I was a bartender and he was one of the first to get a drink from me that day. So I didn't think much. I was still trying to screw my head on and jump into the shift. He kept coming back though. Not always to get a drink, sometimes just to stand near my bar while I made drinks. His friend brought him there for his birthday. Yet he spent most of his time with me. Once I noticed him. I thought he was a lovable dork. I needed to have a conversation with him where I could be myself and not in working mode. Impressed, floored, beautiful, smart, mannered, successful, out of my league. All still true. I thought he was the best looking man I've ever seen in my life. It's still true, after 15 years. She was adorable, cute and quirky. Definitely my type. It felt like we already knew each other and we were meeting up after not seeing each other for a while. Felt like coming home. Electric blue eyes that you can see from across the room. Wicked good sense of humor. Confident. So attractive. Love his freckles. I felt drawn to him like a magnet. And literally had an almost overwhelming urge to rub my face on him like a cat. Which totally freaked me right out. I immediately texted my sister and asked if that had ever happened to her because I felt like such a weirdo. She screenshotted the convo and saved it. Now she sends it to me every year on that date. Oh hey. It's that guy the first met in the cafeteria. He seems smart. I'll sit by him so I can cheat on tests. Damn. This bitch is high AF. When I picked her up the first time, she was apparently quite nervous and had smoked herself stupid. Luckily the second time around it wasn't an issue. Cold sweat smile. When I first saw her I thought she's hot and way out of my league. After mutual flirting and going on a date I thought she was smart, funny, attractive, and still out of my league. Been married for 5 years. Nothing has changed. I still think she's out of my league. That's the guy I will marry. I saw him on MySpace and he was, still is so beautiful. And 10 months later we got married. This is almost 14 years ago and we are an old grumpy couple. Lol. Okay, not old but grumpy tears of joy that said, we love each other. That she was a spoiled little rich girl that had no idea how hard life is, and had never faced struggle. She thought I was an utter asshole. Incredibly rude. And most likely a psychopath. Lol. We've been married since 2012. 2 kids. How adorable. He was just kind of quiet. He's also that tall slim build that I've always liked. Has strawberry blonde hair. I was kind of drawn to him. I sometimes wonder if the nature of these types of experiences are due to time not really being linear. Like this draw happens because you've been with that person, you're just not aware of the experience. She came to our friends group complaining she spilled some acid on herself in the chemistry lab. Also, we shared some M&Ms. He had really long, curly brown hair and was pretty thin and well built. He looked like those old paintings of Jesus, so I had to do a double take LMAO, but in all honesty I thought he was kind of a jerk. He's really blunt. Was very passionate about his faith. So much so that I thought he was a Jehovah's Witness. And he I dunno. I found him annoying. We got to talking more on social media and things developed further from there. How does a man that's this attractive able to quote so many Disney movies and Broadway musicals flushed? Swear to God. It was exactly like the first time he sees Maria in West Side Story. The entire rest of the room went blurry and she was the only person I could focus on, and I just went, wow. I made up my mind to talk to her. Rudely butted into whatever conversation she was having by saying, I have relatives in Sacramento. And she luckily thought I was cute. Been married 13 years now. I was thinking that he was in love with my best friend. Because they spend much time together. Turned out, he spended that much time with her. To get to know me. Smiling face. I really liked his voice. It was deep and sexy. He was also taller than I expected and his hair was different from his photos. In a good way. Making him look even more handsome. He was also more shy. Or maybe shy is not the right word. Maybe more genuine? Than most men I've been out with. Out first date felt really easy and natural. I felt safe. Comfortable. And time just flew by. He was just so jaw-droppingly, breathtakingly handsome. Completely left me speechless. I tried to think of ways to strike up a conversation with him. But I was extremely nervous and he was so ridiculously out of my league. I felt the same way after being friends with him for years. Though by that time we did figure out that we loved to talk to each other for hours. I thought he was arrogant. He was straight out of the army and had this stupid swagger and a stupid accent. Gorgeous though. The body of Adonis and his eyes are just so. Sigh. He's lovely. Wow. He is cute. He'd just walked through the door of the little dive bar we were meeting at. We'd met on a video dating service and it was our first face-to-face. That was 29 years ago and I still think he is hella cute. I got instant butterflies and that had never happened before. I had a sense of trust too and felt like I'd known him forever. So I guess my first impression felt like I was meeting up with a long-lost friend. Today is our 9-year anniversary too. I just know this guy is going to be a giant pain in the ass. We were coworkers. Asterisk asterisk I was right. Asterisk asterisk. Oh yeah. I wanna bang that. He looks so nerdy but moves so well, and #X2OOB. Yeah. He was dancing on a table. We found each other on Tinder. Yes. I'm aware we were using it wrong. I ran into him on the way to the restaurant we were supposed to meet at and the first thing I thought was, wow. He looks so much better than his profile pics. Thank God he can't use a camera well, or else he'd probably be snatched up already. When I first met my wife, I was convinced she'd simply get up and leave the date. As time went on, I realized she was nervous and had a terrible self-image despite being drop-dead gorgeous. It took me weeks to realize she thought I would walk out on her. We're rapidly approaching 10 years of marriage. We were 15 when we met. I just thought he was hot. It genuinely felt like love at first sight. Never felt like it ever before. I thought he was a cool, confident, friendly guy who was indiscriminately nice to everyone, and who had no particular interest in me. It was almost 2 years before I found out he actually liked me. Biggest smile I have ever seen, very shy. 3 more months until we even spoke, she asked me out. Wow. That guy is cute and quiet. He's so mysterious. I have to talk to him. Quote, my husband and I met working in a bookstore. I asked him if he ever talked. He looked me in the eye, nodded, then walked away. I was hooked. That they were quiet. It turns out they're not quiet. But I love hearing them talk, so it's a good thing. Cute. Sexy arms likes my dog. Probably in a serious relationship, so better to just say goodbye before you embarrass yourself and ask him out. Hot AF. Brilliant. Ivy League educated. Tall. And feisty. I feel the same 24 years and 3 kids later. Not married but engaged. To be quite honest, my first impression was that she was gorgeous but kind of a stuck-up. Entitled. Karen. Like the I want to speak to your manager type. Glad we went out a second time and I saw that I was wrong and she had just been having a stressful day. Smiley. Bubbly. Smart. And sporty. We met in college and were friends for a few years before I fell for her. From the beginning, I always thought she was the coolest girl. We were the same major. It's how we met. And I always say that her sitting next to me on test day throughout the years is what got me through college. On her off time, I'd usually catch her around campus on one of the intramural teams or playing a pickup game of something. Always smiling and always cheerful. I'd known my wife for a while the first time we met in real life. We'd been friends for almost 2 years. And had a kind of online fling for a couple of months. The evening after we met for the first time, I sent a text to my best friend. This is the one. I'm marrying this girl. She came to the door and looked like a badass, spiky hair. Leather jacket. Tight jeans. I was smitten. My first impression was actually mild disappointment and the thought that we weren't compatible. Because he wasn't laughing at my jokes. In retrospect, I realized that at our first meeting, my now husband was literally dumbstruck. He was like those cartoons where their jaw dropped and they couldn't say anything coherent. Apparently he fell madly in love with me at first glance. Me, I just liked his hat. So my wife is extremely attractive. When I first saw her, I was on a lunch break and did not expect to see her. As in, I did not expect to see someone so attractive. I was flabbergasted and my mind just went blank. It was wild. Still is. Really. And every day I feel crazy because I can't wait to get home already. I wish I could leave work now and speed on home.